If you like big horsepower and 6.7 engine builds, this one is going to be for you guys. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are diving into a customer's engine. His name is Curtis. He is from, I think, like the Bakersfield area. He brought me a fully assembled 6.7 Cummins. Now, it is a part right here, but I'm gonna kick it over to the time lapse of us taking it apart, and then let's talk about it. Okay, so as you guys saw there, I got the top end ripped off, injectors, rocker arms, push rods, head studs, some accessories, got the headset off, and now we are here at the short block. Now this customer watched a few of my engine builds and brought it here to have me pull it apart, go through it, and swap a couple things. First thing is it has stock connecting rods in it, and we're putting Street Fighters. The second thing is we're gonna put a Colt camshaft in here, which isn't here yet. The other thing I noticed too is when I told him, I was like, dude, this thing's so dirty from sitting. If you want me to put my name on it, I need to take it apart and at least clean it. And you guys can kind of see here, there's some junk on the piston, stuff like that. Again, not terribly dirty, but it definitely was not stored, sealed up, unfortunately. So once it leaves here, we're gonna plug all the holes that are open, tape off the oil cooler pocket, because that was open when I got it, and make sure we go through it. His cylinder head, we're not gonna disassemble. I told him we'll just clean it, clean the top part where the dirt got. I will check with a camera in his shelf, make sure it's good there. But again, we're taking it apart. Looks like he's got some kind of these might be Hamilton's new rocker arms. I'm not really sure. Fleece bridges. Looks like we got some Hamilton push rods over here. 625 studs. Looks like we got the fleece stainless rockers. Set of injectors, connecting tubes down there. I pulled his rail off right there. Rocker box, valve cover. And then again, this is a cylinder head. This cylinder head was done by Kill Devil Diesel, and it has a DNGA shelf on the side of it. And then in here, I can't remember where he got these pistons, but we're going to finish stripping her down here, get the oil pan off, essentially strip down to a bare block again. And then we will go ahead and clean it, go through it all. But in the end, this should be quite a solid unit. One of the reasons why I took this on is I didn't have to get it machined, all right? And because I don't have a machine shop in my backyard, it's hard to do engines. And that's why I slowed down on the engines. I don't have access to a machine shop super close by, and I don't have a good machine shop here locally. So any of the engine builds I do, they either come from PDD or Wagler does the machining, and it takes a while. So I only take on a slight few customer builds. But looking at this, it looks machined okay. I don't think they surfaced the block. If they did, I don't know. It's interesting, but I don't know how long it's set apart. So we're going to hit this with our little stone, flat stone, just kind of clean up the surfaces a little bit. We'll make sure we give all the pistons a once over. We're going to check his ring gaps. We are going to check bearing clearance, obviously, especially with the new rods. But get this thing kind of stripped down. So I'm going to go ahead, get it all stripped down, and we'll look at it. And then we will pick this back up when his other parts get here after I finish the cleaning process. To clean this, we're going to put it outside, get some Dawn dish soap, water, pressure washer. I use a foam cannon sprayed in there, and then I have a whole bucket full of brushes that we go through. Then I followed up with a bunch of brake cleaner to dissipate the water, spray it out with air. Make sure your air has a receiver dryer on it to keep the moisture out. And then I instantly roll it back inside once she's blown off to keep it clean. You guys can see we cleaned up the garage, pressure washed the floor. I have the swamp cooler pushing all the dust back out, and we will keep the garage sealed up. It is very possible to build an engine in your garage and have great results. I have been to a lot of engine building places over my time. Some have amazing clean rooms. Some of them you wouldn't believe how dirty they are, but the work still turns out good. So as long as you keep your area clean, do your best, I think you can do this at home. We'll get this guy taken care of here. Looking at his piston in the wall, though, does look a little tight. So I got his oil pan off. You guys can see here, we have some ARP rod bolts in fractured cap rods. Some people say you can't do it. I beg to differ. I've done it many times with success. I will say you need to measure it, but I'm really not sure what was in this engine. But it's oily but greasy. I'm not sure. So we got that off. Now I'm looking at a Beans gridlock. Pretty cool. Anyway, I'm not here to argue with people. I've already made up my mind on what I can and can't do from trial and error, common sense, and measuring. And anybody that's going to try and argue, I'm not interested. And that's kind of where I've gotten to my point in my life. Like, I'm always down to hear somebody else's opinion and stuff like that. But if you're just going to come out here and, oh, this is wrong, like, I'm good. I'm going to just move on with my life. So, anyway, we're going to go ahead, get these rods knocked out. We're going to keep the caps with the rods and try to get these out safely. So that way he can reuse them or whatever. But we'll get these knocked out. And then once we get that knocked out, we'll get the cam lifters out. And I'll label them for him in case he wants to reuse them. And then we will go ahead and rip the rear timing case, or rear main cover, and front timing case off, so that way we can get to our crankshaft. And this right here is why I told them I wanted to take it apart. These are his oil galley plugs. Look at all that crust. Oh yeah, straight into the motor. Other thing too that I noticed, oil pump went in bone dry, so that'll be really, really hard to prime. In fact, almost impossible. The other thing, you guys saw his Beans girdle. He used a 6.7 pickup tube, but did not space it up. And I'm gonna have to vacuum check this pickup tube now and make sure it didn't crack, because it was being held up off the girdle, and when he torqued these down, it pulled it this way. I'm gonna make sure that that joint up there is still serviceable. But got it all stripped apart tonight. I will not clean up anything. I'm gonna go ahead and take the rods off the pistons here and figure out if I'm gonna reuse these rod bearings or not, and pull the rings off, make sure they're gapped correctly. They don't look trimmed, so kind of makes me a little nervous, but we'll start to do our measuring. Before I clean this thing, I'm gonna go ahead and put all the main caps in and check main bearing clearance. Clearly, I don't think it's had a line hone. It's definitely not had the caps machined, because I could still see some old fretting. And all of this looks old, like it's never been machined or a line honed. Which, I don't know, a 12 mil girdle will probably be fine. More than likely they usually are. But all this stuff in his oil galley plugs, oh yeah, straight into the bearings, because that goes straight into the rifling. This is all post filter, so glad we took it apart. Again, I just think, and like I said, I don't know if he cleaned this. A lot of times when guys do it themselves, what I notice is they pay a machine shop cleaning fee. The machine shop, I shouldn't speak for all machine shops, but for the machine shops I've ever used, you need to clean it again. They knock a bunch of the stuff, the honing oil, stuff like that. They'll shot blast, beat it, but it is not final cleaned. And then even in this crank, I saw some dirt on here. The crank doesn't look turned or anything. Doesn't even look polished. Looks like it just got taken out of a good runner. So I gotta wipe all of the grease off. I will knock this wear sleeve off because I just don't like this style, and it appears that it was hammered on, and it's got some nice edges that'll catch right there. And then you can see here the front main seal is pressed too far out, like this is sitting too high out of here. Very little of the gasket's actually making contact in this billet cover, so I'll have to put a new rear front main seal. Rear main did not have a wear sleeve. We'll wear sleeve that. New gasket there. This is one of the reasons why I hate those beans girdles, because the caps get stuck on there, which I understand is part of their interlock grid, but again, I'm not a huge fan. I'm not saying they make a bad product. I don't like these girdles for this reason right here. I'm gonna talk him into a Cummins oil pump and not this Ling Long special here. 625s are good. He had P main bearings. I'm gonna talk to Curtis a little bit on that, see if we can't get him into some H's. Because here's the turbo setup. It's a 64 over an 88. That is up there on the horsepower. Okay, that is a doozy. So I think we're gonna end the video here. I know this one's a little short. It's a stock cam. It looks like a used cam, and it does appear to be, they look like fresh lifters. That might even be a fresh cam, but we're gonna do the Colts. So I didn't number these for him in case they were used, so that way he could save it as a set. I got to get that gear pressed off and clean everything up. Hardest part about these aluminum hands is getting the old gasket off. And then he used a lot of the black RTV, which is fine. I find the gray stuff works a little bit better in my opinion. And then we just need to do a really good cleanup job on this block. A lot of dirt in here. So again, I'm not putting him down or whoever built this down. Mistakes were made, lessons will be learned. They RTV'd the water pump on, like just a lot of stuff. And then all of the main studs, if you look, they ARP lubed the part that goes in the block. They ARP lubed the top here, but on the head studs, they ARP lubed the stuff in the bottom and oiled the top. So we'll go ahead and fix all that. I think his head gasket, we might be able to get away with reusing it, but somebody took all the rivets out. So I got to make sure this is even the right thickness head gasket. And I don't know what kind of grease this is. It almost looks like an ARP lube on the head. So I'm going to talk to him, see if I can get some more insight on this. And again, this isn't to pick on anybody. Guys, Everyone makes mistakes. I am, again, you guys have seen it on the channel. We have made lots and lots and lots of mistakes. And I feel like I was torn on taking this job on because if he did build it right, I felt like he was wasting his money. But now after seeing it, especially with the upgrades and what he's trying to do, I would definitely agree. I think this was money well spent. I saw some issues that were going to be some oil leaks, some bearing choices that I didn't quite agree with. I don't think we got a good torque on the head studs. The stock rods were a mistake, in my opinion, for that compound setup up there. So we'll get them straight. Nice part is we might be able to reuse these bearings in his Street Fighters, depending on how they measure. So yeah. In closing, guys, I've had a ton of people reach out via email, and I've gone through them. If I missed you, I apologize. We are currently booked out well into October. And I'll be honest with you, November, December, till about March, April, I'm leaving that for me. That's going to be me time. If we have small odds and end jobs, drivability issues, stuff like that, sure. But like engine stuff, fabrication stuff, all that kind of stuff, I'm probably not going to be as keen to do it just because we have a ton of work to do ourselves. So before we end this video, I came out here this morning to start doing some measuring and stuff like that. I was measuring valve depth. Well, I know I started wrapping this up, but I'm going to put up some pictures here. This engine has had 6 speedy sleeves put in there. And I didn't really realize it until I started like cleaning out the bores. I was going to check piston and wall and ring gap. And I noticed the ridge around the outside of the deck here. And then inside, you guys will see pictures of a speedy sleeve. So unfortunately, we're going to put a pause on this build here. I ordered him a new PDD 14 mil stage 2 6.7 block that Tim got us shipped out, and we will build on a new block. So I'm going to get all of his parts kind of cleaned, get his main caps and his girdle hardware all boxed up, so that way we can make sure we don't lose anything. And then I'll start cleaning some of his odds and ends while we wait for the block to get here. Probably pull his rods off, and we will be able to measure his main bearing clearance or rod bearing clearance, but it's unfortunate. So guys, if you send stuff to a machine shop, I'm not going to say all machine shops are like this, but this is not uncommon where you don't always get your block back. And the fact that this machine shop was willing to send out a 1200 horsepower build spec to 4.5 thousandths piston and wall with a $18 repair sleeve in all 6 holes tells me that this was not going to be a good time. So let's finish off the video. In closing, guys, give this one a big thumbs up. Drop your comments down below. Subscribe if you are not already. And as always, I will catch y'all on the next one.